Alright, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Spank Monkey back again with another video of a Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth unboxing. Magic the Gathering Universes Beyond. So if you caught the earlier video, we had opened one PR kit, which came with 2 set boosters, and my LGS hooked me up with a promo pack from March of the Machine. So let's get right to it. That was quite a lengthy video since we were trying to feel the flavor of opening a PR kit and trying to get a sense of what the cards are coming from this particular set. Wasn't a really big fan based on the spoilers that I had seen earlier, but looks like the cards are quite decent, and you have some pretty good ones there for Commander, which I'd like to play. So it's a 14. Okay, so we'll get the cards here. Okay, so we have the pre-release sort of promo over there. We have the draft booster here, and we have the set booster here, and the bonus round. Yeah, let's put that over here as the bonus round. Okay, let's get right to it. So, draft booster number 1. So that was quite a lengthy video, just the earlier one I had recorded, so maybe this one we'll get to it more quickly. So Arwen's Gift, subscribe to Draw 2, Fort to Cast, okay, Ent's Fury, Quarrels and Mordor Trebuchet, Ithilien Kingfisher. By the way, this is a draft booster that we're opening. Okay, Second Breakfast, this is new. So pay 3, up to 1 target creature, up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 till end of turn, then create the food token. Okay. Chance Met Elves. So it's a 3 to cast Elf Warrior, 3/2 power and toughness. Whenever you scry, put a 1/1 counter on Chance Met Elves. This ability triggers only once each turn. Then we have Many Partings, Inherited Envelope, Improvised Club. Okay, then we get for the uncommons a legendary Denethor, Steward of Gondor, and then You Cannot Pass, and Oath of the Grey Host. So it's a saga, 4 to cast. First saga, you and target opponent each create a food token. The second one is each opponent loses 3 life, then create a treasure, and the third is create 3 tap 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Okay, then for the rare we get Elven Chorus. So this is 4 to cast enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, so you can make them into Matadors. Okay, and if you're a token creator, then you can generate so much mana with that. Okay, and Forest and a Human Soldier. Let's put that over here. So let's move it down. Okay, next pack. Again, I was saying in the other video that the card stock here feels very different. I think this is, what is this? Made in the US, but the set booster is made in Japan, and it feels like the one in Japan feels different compared to the ones from the US. I like the one from Japan better because it doesn't have that residue, and it's glossier, and the paper feels different. Okay, anyway, so first we have Rush to the Room, the Black Breath. So this is new. It's a sorcery, 3 to cast. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 till end of turn, and then the ring tempts you. Soothing of Smeagol, okay, Errand Rider of Gondor, Galadrim Bow, Swarming of Moria, Mordor Muster, Close Pathfinder, Eastmark Cavalier, and Snarling Warg. So moving on to the uncommons, we have Council's Deliberation. So this is 2 to cast instant. Draw a card. Whenever you scry, if you control an island, you may exile Council's Deliberation from your graveyard. If you do, draw a card. Okay, good way to get some value. Fiery Inscription is an enchantment for 3 to cast. When Fiery Inscription enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Fiery Inscription deals 2 damage to each opponent. This is pretty good if you have a Storm deck, or something like I have a Calamax deck, Spell Slinger deck. Pretty good. Okay, and then we have Bitter Downfall. This obviously is Boromir. 4 to cast instant. This spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a creature that was dealt damage this turn. Destroy target creature, its controller loses 2 life. Boromir says, I tried to take the ring from Frodo. I'm sorry, I have paid. And, ooh, we get a mythic. We get a mythic. It is Sauron the Dark Lord. So 3 blue, black, red to cast. We have a 7/6 Avatar Horror. With Ward, sacrifice a legendary artifact or legendary creature. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass Orcs 1. Whenever an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you. Whenever the ring tempts you, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 4 cards. This is a pretty powerful card, I think. So Sauron the Dark Lord, 6 to cast. Okay, our first mythic of this particular set of cards. Okay, so let's put that over there in the cool pile. Over here. Okay, we got an island and a treasure. Okay, pack number 3. Okay, so we got Hobbit Sting, Ent's Fury, Quarrel's End, Mordor Trebuchet, Ithilien Kingfisher, Second Breakfast, Nasty Ant in the Borderless treatment, okay. Woe's Pathfinder, Eastmark Cavalier. Now for the uncommons, we have Ugluk again, and Drawn Basin, and a Nazgul. So Nazgul is 3 to cast Wraith Knight with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. And whenever the ring tempts you, you put a 1/1 counter on each Wraith you control. And it says a deck can have up to 9 cards named Nazgul. That's interesting. Okay. Very interesting. And for the rare slot, we get Sauron's Ransom. So it's 1 blue, black. Give here, is it? Instant, choose an opponent. They look at the top 4 cards of your library and separate them into a face down pile and a face up pile. Put 1 pile into your hand, the other into your graveyard. The ring tempts you. Okay, and we get the foil Slip on the Ring, which is a instant 2 to cast. Exile target creature you own, then return to the battlefield under your control. The ring tempts you. Okay, so foil, we'll put that over here. And we get a forest and the Ballistic Boulder. Nice. This is a token artifact creature. When you have that artifact, the Trebuchet, I think we got one earlier, allows you to create that boulder, tap and attacking. Okay, next we have Pelardir Survivor. So it's 2 to cast, 1/3 human peasant, tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this only to cast instant or sorcery spells. You can pay 6, tap it, target player mills 3 cards. Okay, and then we get Erebor Flamesmith. It's a dwarf artificer 2 to cast. Power and toughness 2/1. So whenever you cast instant or sorcery spell, Erebor Flamesmith deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, Sam's Desperate Rescue. So it's a sorcery, 1 blue, black to cast. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. The ring tempts you. So good recursion here. Glorious Gale. So this is a counter spell, counter target creature. If it was a legendary spell, the ring tempts you. 2 to cast. It's interesting for this pack. These are like 4 commons that I had not yet opened in the other packs. So interesting there. Another one here is Escape from Orthanc. It's a 1 white to cast instant. Target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying for an turn. Untap it. Here's another interesting common which I have not yet picked up. Bag and Porter, 4 to cast, 4/4 dwarf. So whenever this attacks, it gets XX until end of turn, where X is the number of legendary creatures you control. So there's a bias towards legendary creatures. Next would be Breaking of the Fellowship. Sorcery, 2 to cast. Target creature and opponent controls deals damage equal to its power to another target creature that player controls. Then the ring tempts you. Next we get Wizard's Rockets and Knights of Dol Amroth. So next we get Troll of Khazad-dûm. It's a 6/5 troll, 6 to cast. Can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures with Swamp Cycling. Okay, moving on to the uncommons, we have Stu the Connies, Goblin Fire Leaper, so it's 2 to cast, Goblin Warrior, 1/1. you can pump it up, and then when it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature opponent controls. And we get a Meriadoc Brandy Book. So 2 to cast, you get a Halfling Citizen 2/2. Whenever one or more Halflings you control attack a player, create a food token. Okay, and for the rare slot, we get the Mines of Old Moria, which we got earlier. That one was in the borderless treatment. Okay, and we get another land, Mountain, and a food token. So far, only one Mythic, but we got the big boy himself, Sauron. And let's move on. So we have Gimli's Fury, Stalwarts of Osgiliath. So Human Soldier, 5 to cast, 4/3. When the Stalwarts enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Stalwarts of Osgiliath. Okay, we get the Generous Ent. 6 to cast, 5/7, enters battlefield, create a food token, has reach. Fire of Orthanc, 4 to cast, sorcery, destroy target artifact or land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. That's where they blew up the sewer in Helm's Deep. Sirith Ungol Patrol, 5 to cast, 4/5 PT, Orc Soldier. You pay 1, tap, sacrifice another creature, draw a card, and create a food token. Grey Haven's Navigator. It's 3 to cast, Elf Pilot with power toughness 3/2 with flash. Enters battlefield, scry 1. Slip on the Ring. Lembas, which shouldn't be a legendary food. Is there a legendary food already out there? I don't know. Let me know. Hit up the comments. Okay, we have Mushroom Watchdogs. Okay, this is new. Interesting. Look at those guys. 2 to cast, 2/2 dog. Sacrifice food, put a 1/1 counter on Mushroom Watchdog. It gains vigilance until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Next, we have Eastmark Cavalier. To end out the commons, for the uncommons, we start off with Erkenbrand, Lord of Westfold. So it's a Human Soldier, 4 to cast, 3/3. Whenever Erkenbrand or another human enters battlefield under your control, creatures you control get 1/0 till end of turn. Next is Shortcut to Mushrooms and Saruman's Trickery. Next, we have on the rare slot, it would be Rangers of Ithilien. So this is a human ranger, power toughness 3/3, 2 and 2 blue pips to cast with vigilance. When Rangers enters the battlefield, you gain control of up to 1 target creature with lesser power for as long as you control Rangers of Ithilien. Then the ring tempts you. Okay, and then we get a land and a food token. So last draft booster, and let's see what we get here. Okay, Treason of Isengard, War Beast of Gorgoroth, Claim the Precious. Interesting. Target destroy our creature, the ring tempts you. So that's Smeagol killing his brother. Nimrodel the Watcher, Elf Scout. Oh, Nimrodel Watcher, I mean. Elf Scout 2 to cast, 2/1. Whenever you scry, it gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked this turn. Took Reaper. So this is a Halfling Peasant, 2 to cast, 2/1. When the Took Reaper dies, the ring tempts you. Elven Farsight, sorcery, 1 to cast. Scry 3, then you may reveal the top card of the library. If it's a creature card, draw a card. And then Cast into Fire. So this is an instant, 2 to cast. Choose 1. Cast into Fire deals 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures, or you exile target artifact. So throw that ring into the Fires of Mount Doom. Okay, Inherited Envelope and Improvised Club. Nasty End to end the commons. Okay, for the uncommons, we have a borderless, the Grey Havens. It's a legendary land. So you can tap it to tap for colorless, or you can tap it for any color among legendary creature cards in your graveyard. Now scry 1. Okay. We have Shire Sheriff. And another borderless one, Quick Beam Upstart Ent. So this is a 6 to cast, Tree Folk, 5/6. Whenever Quick Beam Upstart Ent or another Tree Folk enters battlefield under your control, up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. Alright, and we have a rare here. That would be Faramir, Prince of Ithilien. So it's a 3/3 human noble legendary for 2 to cast. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. At the beginning of that player's next end step, you draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. Otherwise, create 3/1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Okay, and we get the land and an orc army. Okay, so we have 2 set boosters. Let's open that. I feel like opening set boosters feels a lot more flavorful when compared to the draft. Obviously, it's a different experience. But at the same time, I was mentioning earlier, the card stock of the set boosters, the ones made in Japan, seem to feel better and are of higher quality. So I don't know if people have that comment, but let's see. Share your thoughts below. Okay, we have Aragorn the Uniter. Okay. So let's see what we got. Okay, we got a swamp here. We get Dunland Crabane. We get the Ithilien Kingfisher. Merc with Bats. Again, pretty cool. Golem, Patient Plotter. Alright. For the uncommon. Then we get Grond, the Gatebreaker. It's a legendary vehicle. 4 to cast, 5/5 trample. As long as it's your turn, as long as it's your turn and you control an army, Grond the Gatebreaker is an artifact creature. Then crew 3. Okay, then we get another legendary creature here. Grishnak, Rash Instigator. So it's a 1/1 Goblin Soldier, 3 to cast. When Grishnak enters battlefield, amass orcs 2. When you do, until end of turn, gain control of target non-legendary creature the opponent controls with power less than or equal to the amassed army's power. Untap that creature, gains haste until end of turn. Next, we have Saruman the White. So he is a 4/4 Avatar Wizard for 5 to cast with Ward 2. And it says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, amass orcs 2. So a little ho-hum there. Okay, do we get anything here? Okay, so we get a Golem the Patient Plotter in the Showcase Art version. And we get a Mythic. I think this is coming from the Commander set. So it's Awen, Shield Maiden. So for 2 blue, red, and white to cast, you get a 5/4 Human Knight with First Strike. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if another human enters the battlefield under your control this turn, create 2 red Human Knight creature tokens with Trample and Haste. Then if you control 6 or more humans, draw a card. Wow, this is quite a powerful card, and probably you can make this into a interesting command. Although the high casting cost is a little bit of a tax here, but yeah, that's pretty cool. It's Mythic 0001. Interesting. So a second Mythic here. And next we have a rare. We have Minas Tirith. So it's a legendary land. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a legendary creature. Tap it to add white. You can pay 1 and white, tap it, draw a card, activate only if you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn. That's pretty cool. And then we get a second rare in foil this time, Frodo Sauron's Bane. So it's a legendary halfling citizen, 1 to cast. Power toughness 1/2. So you can pay hybrid white-black. If Frodo Sauron's Bane is a citizen, it becomes a halfling scout with base power and toughness 2/3 and lifelink. Then you can pay black. If Frodo is a scout, it becomes a halfling rogue with whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times this game. Otherwise, the ring tempts you. Wow, okay, so I think this is one of the interesting cards for this particular set in foil. So I'll put that over here in the cool pile, and then we get a human soldier token. So wow, good way to close out the show. 1 mythic, 2 rares, one of them in foil. And oh, sorry, we still have one more set booster. Okay, let's see if we can top that pack. So So that was a pretty good pack, I would say. Let's see if we can do one better. Okay, instantly I'm seeing already a list card, but let's get to that in a bit. So we have here Gandalf, I would assume. So we have the Swamp. Okay, Mirkwood Spider, so it's a 1 to cast Death Touchy Spider, 1/1. Whenever it attacks, target legendary creature you control gains Death Touch till end of turn. Okay, we have Oliphant. So it's a 6/4 elephant. For 6 to cast, whenever Oliphant attacks another target creature you control, gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn, and it has mountain cycling. Next is Snarling Warg. Frodo Baggins in the uncommon slot. Ooh, so we got uncommon slot right away. So after 3 commons, we get uncommons. I'm thinking we might get some cool cards later. So we have Barrow Blade and Bilbo Retired Burglar for legendary. 3 to cast. When Bilbo Retired Burglar enters or leaves the battlefield during tempts you, whenever Bilbo deals combat damage to the player, create a treasure token. So we're getting a lot of these nice legendary creatures. Okay, we get Saruman's Trickery. Okay, and we get a Borderless Pippin's Bravery. Okay, let's see, do we get anything nice here? We get a rare Gandalf the Grey in the showcase format. So this is a 5 to cast Avatar Wizard with 3/4. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one that hasn't been chosen. First, you may tap or untap target permanent. Gandalf the Grey deals 3 damage to each opponent. You can copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy, or put Gandalf on top of its owner's library. Interesting. Okay, this nice card over here. Got quite lucky there. Do we get any further goodies? We get a Mythic, Arwen, Mortal Queen. So we got, in the last video, we got Aragorn, and here we get Sauron and Éowyn. Well, we get and Arwen too, so 2 lady loves of Aragorn, and then his mortal enemy. So Arwen is 3 to cast, Elf Dobo, 2/2. Arwen enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. Pay 1, remove an indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature, and a 1/1 counter and lifelink counter on Arwen. Interesting. Okay, wow. 3rd Mythic. And we get a foiled Bombadil Song. Okay, 2 to cast. Target creature you control, it's 1/1, gains hexproof. And the ring pencil. Over there. And this is the list card we were talking about earlier, a rare at that. So that would be Catastrophe. 4 and white cast. Destroy all lands or all creatures. Creatures destroyed this way cannot regenerate this turn. Okay, so that ends the packs. So we do have the sort of the promo pre-release card, and what we get? Samwise Gamgee in the foil, Halfling Peasant. So I think we're getting bigger names here. So what does it do? 2 to cast. Whenever non-token creature enters battlefield under your control, create a food token. Sacrifice 3 foods. Return target historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, and right under it, what do we get? We get a pre-release, borderless, foil, Frodo Baggins. Although it's just a, it's the uncommon. So whenever Frodo Baggins or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, the ring tempts you, and as long as Frodo is your ring bearer, it must be blocked if able. So it's a foil version. Pretty nice. Okay. Alright, so we are moving into our bonus round. This is the March of the Machine promo pack that our LGS was so generous to share with me. And let's see what we get here. Again, it's a little bit unwieldy to open these promo packs. Alright, so let's start off from the back. We get, wow, the Meat Hook Massacre promo stamped. coming from Crimson Vow. I was actually looking for this in the market. This is like a $40 card now, $50 card. This is a pretty good pickup, and yeah, I'm loving this. Thank you. So that's a nice mythic there, promo stamped. And then in the promo treatment, we get Halo Forger, which is actually quite a good card, to be truthful with you. Yeah, so what does it do? 3 to cast, 3/1 flying fairy rogue. When Halo Forger enters the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, you may cast target instant or sorcery card with mana value X from a graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile instead. And we get on the front face, Tribute to the World Tree. Enchantment, 3 green to cast. When a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater, otherwise put 2/1/1 counters on it. Wow, so I think this particular set of cards was pretty good. We got 4 Mythics out of 8 packs. Again, I don't know the value of these cards yet. I will have to check it out. But we did get a nice Meat Hook Massacre. It's a $40-$50 check right there. I'll take that any day. And we got foil Frodo's here. Frodo Sorin's Bane and Frodo Baggins over there. Nice. So I think this is a pretty good deck. We did get 1 list card. I have a feeling that the set boosters here would be great to open. So maybe I'll pick up 1 or 2 packs on that. We did get this nice Gandalf in the showcase art and a Minas Tirith. Again, I don't know the value of these cards. We'll take a look into it. But thank you for staying tuned and watching this particular video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Ta-ta for now.